We got some Cowboys burning questions coming up here. Really quickly, there is a scenario, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about it earlier today, but there is a scenario where the Dallas Cowboys can clinch a playoff berth this weekend. It's just going to take a ton. You need the Cowboys to win. You need Minnesota to lose to the Raiders, the Packers to lose to the Giants, the Seahawks to lose to the 49ers, the Buccaneers to lose to the Falcons, Detroit to beat the Bears, and the Rams to lose to the Baltimore Ravens. And if you laid down that 17 parlay, RJ Choppy, which is not the most impossible thing, all of those outcomes are favored by Vegas other than Raiders beating the Vikings and Packers losing to the Giants. But if you lay down a $100 bet on that 17 parlay, what are you getting, do you think, Chop?
1120.
5,271 on a $100 bet for that parlay. I don't think that's the most ridiculous one. Look, if you're looking to add some juice to clinch in the playoff berth and you want to throw that on top of it, might not be so bad.
We don't need this. I mean, we're getting in anyway.
Yeah.
So
well,
all
these
there
have been greater collapses before. We've seen the Rangers in 2012 on the last weekend in Oakland.
Yeah, if this team loses 5 straight to end the season, then that's a great collapse.
All right, so we've got some Cowboys burning questions. We were kicking around a couple of these, and I added some more. Kicking around a couple of these with Broadus and I were going through some questions the other day on Love the Star, and I wanted to bring them to you guys. Here's the first one, and this is a little bit outside the box, but I think it's become the reality. Shan, CeeDee Lamb.
Which, by the way, that 5 straight comment you just made, Philly, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit.
I mean, look, it's. I mean, it would not be a crazy scenario for them to lose all those games. That would not be lunacy.
It's not the most ridiculous thing, but I mean, it'd be tough.
It'd be tough.
Sean Sharif, CeeDee Lamb is and should be, in essence, this team's third running back. They keep lining up Lamb in the backfield. He's taken 5 to 6 snaps a game back there. He has carried the ball in 5 of the last 6 games. Not even always on jet sweep. Sometimes it's getting a pitch in the backfield, and he's had some success with it. And so, given that you've got Dowdle and Pollard kind of handling the main load, CeeDee Lamb, rather than keeping a Deuce Vaughn or a Hunter Lipke or whoever else, CeeDee Lamb should be the team's third running back in essence.
Absolutely not.
Too scared of injury here?
Yep. This is not Deebo Samuel because Deebo Samuel is not as good of a receiver as CeeDee Lamb. So Deebo can have some carries. How many carries do you have for CeeDee on the year? Do you have that?
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb has 3, 4. He has 9 carries this year.
Deebo has 29. Mm-hmm. So I even thought it'd be more for Deebo. But no, CeeDee's too skinny. Give it to Rico. I do wish this team had a little bit more of a battering ram at running back. That worries me.
CeeDee Lamb.
Short yardage, playoff, gritty, nasty weather situations, a hammer. Not Zeke. Sign Zeke for, getting you a 4th and inches. That's not worth all that. But I wish they had another power factor back there.
9 yards a carry this year for CeeDee Lamb, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of that is all surprise.
Yeah. It's been some jet sweep stuff, but they have thrown him in the backfield a little bit, and they've had him run outside there.
Keep it surprising. I mean, I don't mind if he runs it, but keep it surprising. Like what you said that Jameson Williams was it Jameson Williams play for Detroit this week? The end around, the double reverse. I mean, do something like that, right? I don't want to line him up in the pistol and let him go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Get him out. If you're gonna make him run, it better be outside the tackle.
I think, and I don't disagree. And he does have what Deebo Samuel's probably got 25 pounds on CeeDee, 25.
Yeah,
but they certainly seem to be using him in this capacity as the change-up back, where outside of Pollard and Dowdle. And it's, I mean, it's had some effectiveness.
Every week I have 5 seconds of terror. If anything happened to this dude, something can happen to Deebo, and they're not done. They have Ayuk, they have Kittle, they have McCaffrey. We're finished, toast, over.
Which is greater negligence, because you always hear people make this complaint. If a guy like CeeDee were to get hurt on a punt return or carrying the ball out of the backfield, which would you be like, that was just critically stupid? Why'd you have him out there?
I'm okay if it's like that big moment that you need the punt return. Actually, I mean, I got Turpin for that. You don't need to be out there for any punt returns whatsoever. He's not better than Kevontae Turpin returning.
RJ Choppy, power rank your confidence in these 3 players. Michael Gallup, Tony Pollard, Terrence Steele.
Ooh.
So, define confidence.
That you're going to get the best of their abilities on game day. On any given game day, regardless of the matchup.
I think we already are getting the best of their abilities on game day.
On all three of them.
Maybe.
Woo. That's a take.
Right? I mean, like, we've got 12 weeks of knowledge here on what the best is. In all seriousness, if the offensive line blocks for Tony Pollard, he'll get yards.
He is what he is.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. Gallup's separation numbers are higher than I thought.
Now, those are only on targets, right?
I don't know how that works.
I'm pretty sure that's only on targets.
It's 2.5, which is, I mean, Lamb is like 2.8. And Cook's like 2.8. So it's not that bad. Steele worries me because that's a one-on-one.
What's your order?
I would say my order of confidence is Pollard 1, Gallup Steele.
Pollard 1 is easy.
Uh-huh.
You could have even kept him out of it. Steele's more worrisome because
inconsistency.
Every play you need him.
Yeah.
You have to rely on him. Michael Gallup can get forgotten, and I don't care. But confidence factor, I'll go Pollard, Gallup, Steele, just because you're more reliant on Steele, and it's terrifying when he misses. I mean, like they need to have a stat on when you make contact sometimes or miss the entire defensive player. Seriously, like a total whiff, a whiff stat for tackles, because this guy has outright whiffed with players going right around him throughout this year.
It's looked like some of his rookie year snaps again, which had not been a problem the last 2 years, but he was come back. Now, the other issue with Steele is he had played really well the 2 weeks prior to this. Like, he had played pretty well in 2 straight games. So I think that's the thing, is that my confidence in the consistency you're going to get from Steele is not very good right now, because I don't know what his issue is. I don't know from week to week why it looks good sometimes and other times it doesn't right now. Gallup, I know what Gallup is, and Gallup is not a starting NFL receiver anymore. And that's even including if you have 3 starting receivers. Like, he is just at best a 4th receiver that you're paying $12 million a year to. They need to, in all likelihood, cut Michael Gallup or trade Michael Gallup after the season.
So when you and Broadus watch him, how does it look different than last year?
It doesn't, but that's the problem. He looked bad last year. You're talking about 2 years now. He looks like the same guy who was coming off that ACL. Brian has gotten to the point, and I know we talked about it earlier this year. Brian's gotten to the point where he says he's just not a scheme fit here. Like, he doesn't fit what they're trying to do. He's not like a really good route runner. Brian said he'd take pretty much everybody else, on the receiving core as a route runner over him. And because of that, he's just not going to get open. Yeah. And so that's kind of where it stands at this point.
I think he needs to get cut. I
would try to trade him. If you can,
yeah. For
some team would have a need baloney. Some team would have a need for him. I bet you would go to Chargers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure somebody given an opportunity like that. Shan, after 2 fantastic years, we have now seen the leveling off of Micah Parsons, which is still great, but Micah Parsons is beginning to level off.
No, I'm not freaking out or worried about that.
The 0 stat line doesn't worry you? I think he's been great this year. I just don't think I think he's the same player we saw last year. And the biggest thing that they have to worry about with him, this guy gets worn out late in seasons. I don't know,
because as I told you all, and I never believe in weights listed by teams, he doesn't look that big for as powerful as he plays. He does not look anywhere near as big as Lawrence Taylor did to me. Now, I think Lawrence's shoulder pads and all that stuff kind of threw you off. But
those Oprah Winfrey 90 shoulder pads.
Micah is like super lean. He goes 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm not worried about Micah Parsons right now. You talking about the 0 stat line from the Giants or the Seahawks?
Giants where he had no tackles, no nothing. Yeah. Seahawks game, even he generated some pressures, but he was not as much of a factor as you would have hoped.
He had 2 tackles, 0 sacks, and I'm not seeing the quarterback pressures. You got next level stats on Micah?
I do. Of all the edges, he has the highest double team rate at 33%.
Wow.
Now
their pass rush was missing against Seattle, but it felt like Seattle was getting the ball out very fast too.
Now the issue that I think that is being lost with his size or lack thereof is that you can't if you're going to have a guy that's his size, you have to play him exclusively on the edge. Speed needs space, and you can't have him bottled up. If he is in space, his size is not going to be a disadvantage. It's going to be an advantage.
But he does create a lot of havoc coming up the
middle. He does. He has the highest pass rush win rate at 37%. The next highest is Myles Garrett at 27%.
Wow.
Micah Parsons has 60.
But that double team stat, his was at 33. Who's the next highest?
Myles at 32.
Okay.
And then Davion Clowney at 26. Nick Bosa at 25.
Wow. Nick Bosa is double team 8% less than Micah Parsons. A lot more attention on that San Fran D line too to worry about.
TJ Watt. So Micah's double team 33% of the time. Where's TJ at?
It's harder to double team TJ because he stands up.
15%. Wow. And Micah has in 40 fewer plays than TJ Watt. Micah has 20 more pass rush wins in 40 fewer plays.
Wow.
He is, without question, the best edge rusher in the game.
Woo!
Right. But has he leveled up? Like we all got into training camp and thought he was going to take it even another step up. Has he done that, or is he the same guy we saw last year?
What's the double team rate compared to last year? Do you have last year?
I can get last year.
You know?
Here we go.
In watching him, does he look different to you?
No, I think he looks the same.
I do agree.
Exactly. He hasn't leveled up like I expected he would.
Broadus caught a lot of heat because he was talking about, I think, the Giants' backup tackle kind of limiting Micah, and all the Parsons fans lost their minds on Broadus, but it was a legit point.
It doesn't have the double team numbers, but his pass rush win rate this year is 37%. Last year was 30%.